Hey, what's going on, guys? Smartest2 here, putting together an Illaoi video today. So pretty excited to work on this. It's something that you guys have been requesting a lot. So, I do pay attention to the requests. Sometimes I get messages on Mobile Fire, things like that. I do have a fairly in-depth Illaoi guide up on Mobile Fire. As the time of this video, has about 350,000 plus views at this point. Link to the guide in the description below. Leave a like on it, comment on it, ask me questions. Or if you have questions I don't cover in this video and that aren't covered in the guide, feel free to stop into my stream on Twitch if you have any questions. Really, the reason I stream mainly is so that if you guys have questions and instead of having to wait on a response, you can pop into the stream and just ask it and I can just talk through it on stream. That's kind of the reason I started getting into streaming, actually, so I'll make sure to check that out as well. So in this example, this is a semi-competitive game. This was a tournament I was in recently, and it was a free agent tournament called the K-Man Cup. These teams are fairly high elo, so in this game I'm laning against a challenger top laner, so this is pretty good top lane gameplay. So I think this is a good example of something that's a little bit more serious than solo queue, a little more coordinated, but it's not nearly as coordinated as a full-on competitive game. So all that aside, let's actually get into it. So he picked Skarner top. It's not a matchup I'm super familiar with, but you almost always are Corrupting Potion Illaoi. And what I want to focus on in this video is honestly the laning phase. I don't want to look too much into team fighting and whatnot. I'll cover things like that in a separate video. This one's really going to be about the lane phase itself. Spoiler alert, we did end up losing this game, but this is a good game to showcase how to lane, and I'll basically just talk through my why I did what I did. So zooming out here a little bit. So Skarner, it's not something I played against a lot top lane. It came up a couple seasons ago, but not a lot of people knew how to play against it well. Kind of a cheese pick, but this was important. So obviously Skarner plays on Spires. So this was an interesting play here where I wanted to get priority over this, right? But it's also very obvious that Skarner is going to want priority over this as well. And there were pings coming in, that there's rotation. So we're just sort of playing this safe, right? So we see this J4, and I know Skarner's going to be here in a second. You'll see there's the ward. So that we know they're sitting in here, right? So it's 2v2. And J4 Skarner, Illaoi, Sejuani, we don't win this 2v2. So already it's determined that, okay, we're not going to contest this. We have a pretty garbage level 1 compared to a Skarner and J4. A lot of attack speed. If they get the Spire, we just die right here and ting top and jungle. No point in that. So we decided to back up and say, okay, we're just going to keep vision. 5 point. I maintain this part up here. So we're going to maintain down here. And look at this. See this? It was a right call to make. A random Leona showed up. And so that's where we were like, okay, we're not going to contest that at all. So that's fine. Leave it up here. This is really something really specific to Skarner, but I want to talk through basically what I was thinking as I'm doing a lot of these things. So here, I'm going to leash. One of the biggest problems with Illaoi is you kind of give really bad leashes. You have abysmal attack speed. You have really abysmal attack speed of 0.57, right? Like, this is a horrible attack speed. Whoops. So I'll grab this and I'm going to lane, and then now what we're looking for, right, is that we're running Grasp. So I probably should have talked about runes and masteries. I always run Grasp on Illaoi. I don't run Conquer. I've played around with Conquer. It's pretty good in certain situations, but because Illaoi is so dependent upon getting a lead in lane and you're just expecting jungle pressure on you, Grasp ends up just being flat out better. You get more sustain in lane over it. Now, I mean, if you have Conquer early, yes, if you get 10 stacks and you get sustained that way, but in order to get up to 10 stacks, it's incredibly mana intensive, like super mana intensive to get 10 stacks of Conquer going. This is where Grasp is really handy, because all you're going to do with Grasp is auto minions till you have the proc, and then you can just W the enemy champion and boom, Grasp proc. So we walk up to lane here, and here let me quickly talk about end lane phase here. This is a good time to go over. You want one over here, right? You want this at this edge over here, basically, so you can position as far in over here as possible. One over here, one over here, here, and then as you push up, you want to get like one over here. At the start, these are the 3 you usually want to get set up, and this gives you like a pretty good area to work with. But this is your priority number 1. This is your priority number 2. And this is your priority number 3. Those are your priorities in what you want where. This right here is this is where you play around the most because it's the easiest to play up to the minions on. It's a little bit more nerve-wracking because you have to worry about jungle pressure more. But if you try and play up to here, it's very difficult to get like them in range of the because the minions will crash like to the bottom part of it. Right here, I'm gonna look to auto, and I'm gonna give a lot of respect here, right? Because I'm just trying to get the autos down, do some Q harass. He procs my bone plating. And I know he has Doran's shield and 1 health pot, and I have 3 corrupting potions, so I have more sustain. But once all my pots go down, and he's at like 200 HP, I'm at like 500, he's just gonna start regenning up with Doran's shield. So I focused this one because of the way he was playing up. This is good. This is important to talk about. Let me go back here real quick. I talked about how when you come in the lane, this is your priority over here. But what's important to note is look how he plays though, right? So he comes in. And he's immediately positioning up here, and the reason, so because he's playing around here, and I want it to come down here, I'm gonna start putting pressure. I want to start putting pressure over here, right? Like I want to start pathing up over here because I want him to say, okay, I don't want to play around this area. I want him to path down here instead, so that after he pats down here, I can once again set this up. This is the logic here. This is something important to note. Is you want to push him, you want to push the enemy laner into the area you want to play around. And this is the wall you almost always want to play around. Using the most priority. So this is where you see him playing around brush. And the reason he's playing around here is because he wants to play around vision, right? Like he's just trying to play the vision game. I'm just gonna get some Q harass down, and I have grasp here, right? So I'm not afraid to get a proc down. He has aftershock. And so here the lane's pushing, and at this point the priority is to get my next tentacle set up right over here. Right, so I have 2 seconds, and it's gonna proc right here, and then now I kind of defend this. And then boom, he's gonna go right down. He has aftershock, but look at that. See? And the only reason I procced my corrupting potion there is because I wanted to keep myself basically at full. And I want to get some harass down. So look at that. Because I procced corrupting potion and I had my Q coming off cooldown, I hit him and now he's burning, right? So he's burning. His Doran shield is procced, but he's burning from the corrupting proc, and he's at under 50% HP. And I already have full prior on this lane. And again, this is a challenger top laner. Like this is how you play this lane. Now I know I'm under threat from jungler, so I'm going to get a quick shallow ward down. Normally, you would want to get the ward down right over here. And this is going to give you the most vision, right? Because right now, having this ward over here, you only get to see up to this line. If you push this up over here, it's really more like over here. And that's the most ideal situation. But the reason I put this word so shallow is I wanted to immediately come back over here and continue the pressure. The 3 to 4 additional seconds I would have taken to walk further down here and then return back would have let up this entire wave of pressure. Boom, he proc his shield. And then now, again, I'm looking at this point, I'm clearing minions that are going to get me angles for my E, right? The Test of Spirit. I'm trying to line up a shot basically. So that's why I cleared this minion instead of this minion. Is this opens up this area for E now. And then what you do here is the second you clear this minion, right? Pose though. The second you clear the minion, you want to try and time your E at the death of the minion. It's the hardest to predict and dodge. Just like that. See that? I timed it with the death of the minion, and boom, that takes this, and then now he's going to eat a lot of damage. And look at that. He is now at 19 mana with under 200 HP. And now I have complete prio of this life. There's nothing he can do. He's going to try and he's just gonna dodge the tentacles, and now any good player is never going to get hit by these procs right here. That's like the unfortunate part is against in lower elos, they might not dodge these very well. Once you hit like at least honestly even like gold elo, like gold to like high goldish elo, you'll almost never land one of these shots without your ult prompt, because that does make your tentacles slam faster. So you won't land these, but what's all you're trying to do is basically zone him off of CS, right? So what people don't understand about Illaoi's Touch of Spirit is that it's not always about getting the Q procs off of the minion. Look where he is. He's down over here trying to dodge these tentacle hits while his minions are dying. This is really the way you start to build up a CS lead. Look at this. I'm already up 7 CS. It's 3.5 minutes in. There's only been like 4 waves, and I'm already up over a full wave's worth of minions. This is what is so crucial about Illaoi. This is where you have to start understanding that, okay, this is how this champion works, is they get 5 plus 5 gold for each tentacle they kill. And you have to understand that League of Legends is a game of numbers. What I mean by that is you have to learn to start thinking about everything in terms of gold. Okay, so every melee minion is 21 gold, every caster minion is 14 gold, and every cannon starts at 60 gold, and I think at the 14 or 16 minute mark, it ramps up slowly up to 90 gold. So 90 gold is the maximum gold a cannon will be worth, but it starts off being valued at 60. So those are the values of the CS, right? So you say, okay, you're up 7 CS already. So that's about 6 minions because he's already killed 2 to 3 tentacles. Everything starts becoming a numbers game, and so even to the point where you say, okay, if I die, can I still maintain that lead? Because again, a death is simply gold and XP. XP is the other fact. And look at that, boom. He is forced to recall, he's too low. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hard push this late. I still have a corrupting potion left, and the biggest benefit of corrupting potion on Illaoi is honestly the mana. And he stays. He greets, right? And I get another E down. Break through his shield. It basically, he doesn't really eat much damage. It just goes through his shield. He misses another melee. Some more harass down. He's going to grab this, and this is where I'm going to start to say, okay, can I get some pressure down? He has to give this up. He loses that one, and boom, I make him lose this minion. Oh, dang it, he actually got that one. Good play by him. But no, a lot of players would not have gone for that minion. And look, and he's still staying because he knows that if he backs, he loses a lot of tempo here. And you always want to look for those E's. That's your biggest point here. And now, at this point, like, and he's still staying. He really greeted hard for these waves. But he has Dora on shield. This is crucial to note. Is I don't have a lot of kill threat on him. I'm respecting him a lot here, because he does still have a stun, right? He still has a stun. He's Skarner. You have to be careful. While I wasn't super familiar with Skarner's damage spikes, and when I couldn't dive him, it's possible I could have dove him in a semi-competitive environment. I didn't want to take the risk. I could have fudged the play, gotten stunned in a tower, and fed a free kill. I don't want to go for that kind of risky play, so I decided to play the CS game. And again, at the 3:15 minute, I was up 6-7 CS. And now at the 4.5 minute mark, I'm up double his CS, right? I'm up 16 CS. He's gonna get somebody. And this is kind of how you play the lane. Who's gonna get those? Those proxies do a lot of damage. So I'm actually only up 12 CS, but still, I've doubled the CS gap between this time. And now I'm actually a little bit nervous because I'm right? And this is what you have to notice, is this is dangerous. I am entirely I'm going to recall here because I want to reset the lane. I want to get items. I'm sitting on 1065 gold, right? And the spike here is that you're going to rush Death's Dance into this lane basically always. So backing on either 1100 gold or 1050 gold, depending on if you could wait or not, is Caulfield's Hammer or triple longsword. That's really what you're going to be looking at here. Oh, I do wait on the call fields. Okay, yeah. I wait on the call fields, get some pressure down. He dodges my E, that's fine. Just want to pressure him. And what's interesting here is I procced my corrupting potion. The reason I did this is because I wanted to get the burn off to prevent him from being able to back right away. I don't really recommend doing that, to be honest, because he has TP. He's going to TP back in the lane. I know that J4 is up here. And the reason I know this is because obviously the Scuttle was at half health, so I up here. So I'm going to leave that there. I have awarded. I know he's coming in. I'm 6, so I'm not as worried. What I'm waiting on right now is basically for a tentacle spawn. Once I can get the tentacle spawn, I'm a lot safer. So now I have this, I can play around this. And now I know I have the level advantage here, right? Boom, he just hit 6. So here I'm going to respect it a little bit more. I don't want to get ulted under tower and get cheese kill off. Sejuani rotates up. I say, hey, J4 was up here. And so I pathed over here for a split second. You saw almost in this danger zone, just to get this tentacle. And then now I'm gonna look to play here. Say, okay, what? And he started to understand how I throw my E's. So it becomes a little bit more difficult to land those. I'm gonna give up pressure on that tentacle because I want to force this wave to crash. Continue getting harassed down. But I'm running fairly quickly. So my goal here is to push, get some more harass down, and look to try and get a plate off or something, or look for the hard engage. And boom. It's like that. So he really disrespects. So let's run that back. Let's slow down a little bit too. Even having played in this game and watching it, even I'm going, that was kind of troll. So again, I move over here, and Illaoi is a lot. I'm gonna back up even more. Illaoi is a lot about mind games. You have to try and throw E's when it's not predicted, or when they can't dodge it. When they can't dodge it includes times like if they're about to last hit a minion, or they're animation locked, right? They're gonna hit their last minion. They can't dodge it. Or as you finish autoing a minion, usually if you toss it out as the minion dies, like a blitzcrank hook, it usually works out pretty well. So here I have my tentacle up, and every time your tentacle is up, you want to think about where do I want to move so that it's in an ideal location. And as Illaoi in this situation, you almost always want to right around this this candle here, and then boom. The second this lands, even though I'm in his tower, I have ult. And because I have ult, this is really, really dangerous for me. It'll mean that I have 3 tentacles, right? If he goes in on me, I'll have 1 plus 2, 3. And as soon as he steps up on me, I know he's looking for the play, right? As soon as he steps up on me, the fact that he doesn't back away means he wants to contest this. The second you know he wants to contest it, you just go. Right? And they never expect a damage charge to come in from this. So I W this, right? So this gets W'd. Maybe I should play it back like in slower motion. Double, boom, boom, boom. And slow this down, right? So right here. And this minion right here is what I'm playing off of. He's gonna auto this minion, and that's why I'm gonna throw E. He can't dodge it. He went for the minion. I get this, and then now here, one of 2 things happens. I'm going to put this back in slow motion. One of 2 things happens. Either he backs away because he wants to not eat the damage, try to get out of the radius, whatever it may be, or he's 6, he says, you're in my danger zone, I'm going to come kill you. So where he moves right here decides what you do. You have to be very quick to react. If he steps up, you ult. If he steps down, you just continue whittling away at this. And boom, he steps up, right? So the second you see, okay, he shields and steps up. He wants to contest this. You just do a quick back step because you already used your W, and then you get ready to ult. I auto it once and instantly ult. And when you ult, you can't be CC'd, right? So because his CC is a long duration, he's going to still continue to pull me, but the initial proc still goes off, which is what matters. He was trying to ult me away from this, so I couldn't get the double proc off. But because that happened, boom, there's 1, 2, 3, right? All 3 spawned. They're going to wail on that because I ulted and there was a ghost in here. And then my next W is going to go right on top of him. Boom. And now all 3 are going to go onto him. I flash out. I'm going to step out of... I was going to kill that, but then the minions killed it. Or sorry, the tentacles killed it. And because they killed this, your tentacles are going to go straight for the champion. And your tentacles smash faster when you're an ult. It basically can't be dodged. So that's where it was a free kill. And that's how I solo killed their challenger top lane. And then boom, got the Demolish proc off as a added bonus. And that right there is huge for the lane. I'm pretty low here, but I want to reset this lane because I know he doesn't have TP. I almost die here, which was really troll. And I got body blocked out of the cannon, which made me kind of sad. But boom. So now we have our lead. And let's look at the lane state, right? We got 1 plate. We're up a kill. And we're up 27 CS. Like, look at the CS difference. So if we check out gold, I'm up almost 1,000 gold at the 7.5 minute mark. This is super ideal. I'm gonna speed things up. I'm gonna back, grab the Vampiric Scepter and cloth armor. I just want a little bit more sustain. I didn't have enough for a pink ward, that's why I didn't buy it. I always want to try and grab a pink ward as well. I wasn't too worried about the J4 at this point. And now that this play has happened, look at this. It's pushing super hard into. So from here, you have 2 choices, right? Either you let this push back into you and you play over here instead, or you push into him again and basically repeat the situation. On most champions, it's a lot wiser to pull back and just try and freeze the wave basically. But there's a couple issues here. One, Skarner can actually, clear fairly easily from afar. Like he moves very quickly. He's very safe. It can be difficult to freeze a wave against him without him pushing it into your tower. B, I'm Illaoi. It's tough for me to look to try and contest his harass without pushing up the wave automatically, right? Like my Q almost like one-shots these back. And 3 is I really want to continue to press this lead. And what it comes down to is, am I confident in the 1v2 situation? And at this point I am. I have a lot of damage. I'm feeling pretty good. He's got Glacial Shroud and Cloth, so I know he has armor. But I'm still feeling pretty good about so I'm going to go ahead and just start pushing this lane up immediately. And at this point, I'm just going to look to get my tentacle to help clear the minions. And I'm going to start once again looking for those E procs. Dodge that one, that's fine. Once we hit level 8, by the way, this harass becomes a lot better because we can finally get another point into spirit. Each point into test of spirit is incredibly important. Some Illaoi players will rush in Emax. I don't really see too much of a point in that, as your passive damage is not that strong without putting points into it. So here again, why am I'm moving over here? Because I want to set this one back up. Boom, that's set up. And I am respecting a little bit. Boom, goes for the play. And this time I think I get minion blocked pretty hard. So you saw there, just kind of hinted. Flat out. I didn't have flash. Before I was able to get out because I had flash. This time I didn't have flash up, so it's kind of an unfortunate situation. So let's put in the back. It's off, and then here it looks like the same thing, right? It looks like I can just ult and get the play off. But what I didn't take into consideration was the fact that I'm going to get pulled over here. There's no way for me to go from here back up to here for these tentacles to get there. Biggest problem is this thing is up over here and not down over here. Otherwise, it would have had 3 tentacles in this area. So see this? He's way down over here. This thing this thing. Never got done. And that's just a free kill over to him. So that was an int on my part. It's fine. And this is where I wasn't super familiar with Skarner. I was kind of shocked at how much distance he was able to gain there. That was actually a pretty massive, but it's still not terrible, right? The thing is we're 1 for 1, and I have 28 CS up. That's still a significant lead. We were up at 1,000 before, but look at this is where it kind of sucks. Is we went from 1,000 gold difference up to like 300. So this is where you have to be careful. Back from a lane, and at this point, as you can see, I bought no magic immediately. I'm like, okay, that duration is a little bit nerve-wracking. I need to play around that a little bit more. I need to rush Merc Treads in this lane. I also could have switched over to Black Cleaver Rush, knowing that he was stacking armor, a little bit more armor. But I decided saying that, okay, I'm going to go for Merc Treads and I'll go for Sustain, because in a 1v2 situation, Death Stance is better. I get more sustain out of it, I get more procs, I get more ability. It's just flat out better. 10% less CDR and no armor. But he's looking to play up on me now, and I'm starting to understand that he plays around his Eve pretty well. So the second this hits me, I back up. I'm saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to wait that out. That's like sort of the biggest factor. A lot of this was also my inexperience playing against Skarner. I didn't know when I had to be nervous of what. Another thing to note is your Q is pretty mana hungry, mana intensive, I should say. So you can get these, boom. And I'm gonna ult this again. And this should kill him right here. Boom. Yep. And this is where I was saying, like, so he again disrespected me. The thing you have to remember about your ultimate is that, like I mentioned before, once you get the proc off, he can't dodge it. So even though he was trying to dodge it, the tentacle slams too quickly. The second it spawns, it slams down like immediately. There's no charge up to it. The way there's normal. And boom. We once again have reset the lane in our favor. J4 test us. He's got Cinder Hulk. There's nothing he can do here. We're going to push this wave up. We're going to get a shove in and then try and get a back off. We're sitting on gold now. So we're in a really good situation. I honestly, I'd probably end up greeting and getting Aegis instead of Treads. But boom, I got that. And now I know he has TP up. He was TPing to that tower. So I'm going to recall here. And tool stat stance. If I'm not trolling, I get Merc Treads here. If I am trolling, I just get Aegis. Oh wait, never mind. I actually had full death stance, so that's fine. Completing the item is yeah, you can't see it, but I'm TPing to this tower, as you can see in the mini map, to reset the lane. And this is basically lane phase, right? I mean, the first 12 minutes. At this point, this is early game over. From here on out, like I have a completed item. He has Swifties. This is essentially the transition into mid game. Your post 6, or they were both level 10. I mean, this is the mid game point. This is where how you play the game changes up quite a bit, depending on a lot of factors, who's ahead. So that comes down to macro, which is a whole different topic. You can be down 8,000 gold and still win a game if you understand macro and how to play around macro. But I hope you guys learned a little bit about this. I just wanted to showcase how to play Illaoi into a really good player. Again, he's ranked like 200 NA or something like that. Conquer would not have allowed me to make a lot of those trades, as I would not have been nearly as beefy as I was. I would have had more sustain, but in this situation, like where you're harassing this much, you're never really going to hit those 10 stacks. If you're somehow hitting 10 stacks of Conquer, your whole combo is practically over at that, right? I mean, the only time you'll really get to utilize Conquer is if you're like in a team fight, and the second you push R, your Conquer is basically instantly prone. And then everything after you're healing off, then yes, it's effective. But a big part of Illaoi is getting a significant advantage in lane. So again, at the 12-minute mark, we're up 2-1. We're up 26 CS, a pretty significant CS lead. So we won this lane pretty hard. But I hope the movement, or where I move around when, I hope that was useful to you guys somehow. It's going to be the end of it for now. I hope you guys were able to learn something from it. Make sure to comment and let me know what you guys would like to see more of. I hope to put out more videos on other champions as well. Like I want to put some videos out for Set, maybe some Fiora, Morgana, Teemo. There's so many champions right now that I think are just really underrated and really, really powerful. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Huge thank you for everyone who has been checking out the guide, messaging me, asking questions. Make sure to check out the guide below. Check out the description. That way you can see what I build on Illaoi in order. You can see the runes I take. Also, if you have questions that you want answered a little more quickly, the best way to do that is to come drop by the stream, say hi, and ask a question there. I'll respond pretty quickly. Drop by there, say hi. Let me know what you guys thought about the video. Let me know how terrible it was. It was the first video after all. And thanks again for watching, guys.